Well, my friends, here we go again. In this video you get the whole streetball history in one video comprised. Everything what you ever wanted to know, all the legendary players, the courts, all stuff we have now in one video. And I tell you something, if you think the FIBA 3-3 tournaments, this is streetball, then I will tell you this has nothing to do with real streetball. Bam! And we will check out the most legendary streetball court in the whole wide world. You know, we have here one of the most beautiful courts in the entire world, but there only exists one court which is more legendary than everything else. And we will check this out. Let's do it.
Crowded, I'ma ride my own wave. I don't need your approval, I'ma go my own way. My daddy told me to be first, you finish last place. The world show me one way, I'ma go my own. Ride my own, ay 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 ay. Ride my own, ay 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 ay. Ride my own, ay 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 ay. Ride my own, ay 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 ay. Hey, Kelly Slater with the way that I ride it.
Quarter lick up the net, I'm the shit. 100 bits on the net, shopping trip. Bad bitches never fuck with counterfeits, but the lame bitch level up the loose connects. Way the stacks, make a plan to attack. A whole wet, her career.
So, well, my friends, here we go with this video. Very provocative what I told you now with the 3-3 tournaments, but in the end you will understand why this is, maybe the younger people. But this is a hard thing for me, what I want to give out, a video where we have the streetball history comprised in one only video. Because otherwise many people don't know about the legendary streetball players, about a Hot Sauce, you know, a Philippe Champion, about a King Handel, Joey Haywood, the legends of the streetball game, a BIG3 Kirkland, Earl the Goat Manigault, the most legendary streetball court. You know, they think the 3-3 tournaments. It is nothing bad, but nothing good. We will come to this later on. But the real streetball is other. Yeah? And the most legendary court where all the players went up there exists only one in the world. And this is the first thing what we make now. Chapter 1, most legendary streetball court in the whole wide world. And this is not even close. This is so far away to any other place in the world in basketball. And where it is? No, it's not the Madison Square Garden. No, it's not Boston Garden. No, it's not in Europe. It is in Harlem, New York. The most legendary court of them all, the Rucker Park. And why it is so legendary? Because it has more history about the game of basketball than anywhere else in the whole wide world. You know, over decades the best players in the world showed up there. This is the holy place in the whole wide world. There basketball was growing up, you know, and even today the best players want to play there. And as a streetball, I tell you, once in your life you should be on this court. I was never there, I don't fly, but I would, if I would fly, I would only fly there to stay there on the court, you know. I tell you, for the younger ones, we start with the younger players, yeah. There were the likes of a Kyrie, Irving playing on this outside court, yeah. A Kevin Durant has played there. Iverson has played there. Vince Carter was there. But it's a little bit other story, we come to this. A legendary game was there, Kobe Bryant entered the Rucker Park. If you never heard of this place, I tell you, it's an outside court. It looks not spectacular. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the 3-3 tournament courts, which the younger ones only know this as streetball. This is a real court, one ring and one ring, and people are standing and sitting, and over decades the best players in the world were playing there, you know. If you don't know the names, then you will learn it now. A B.V. Kirkland, an absolute streetball legend. If you never heard the name, now we will find all stuff, the videos, watch them. Please watch those videos if you are into streetball or basketball, because this is the history of our game. These are our heroes, you know. A Dr. J, Julius Erving, has played there. Earl the GOAT Manigault, you know. Wild Chamberlain, I always call Wild Chamberlain, you know. Maybe the GOAT of them all. This is unbelievable. This history was this court has to offer. Back in the days, a JC entered in, a Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, you know. Unbelievable. Fat Joe, they had their own teams. The hip hop was there. The whole culture was coming from there. You know, this is our holy place in the whole wide world. It is an unbelievable history. Really, you have to watch the history of the park. All videos, what I think is important, you can. So camera overheated. I sadly only have a GoPro and this is not good working. But I have to tell you, I'm so excited to talk about this. I cannot make this quiet and as an informational video. I get nothing for it. I get not 1 cent. Nothing. It is only a hard thing to put this out that many people have this compromised in one video, because I have talked or written with a lot of people and many young people don't know about this. They never heard of this place and this. They only know the FIBA 3-3 streetball games, but the history is so important, you know. And I'm so excited to talk about this, because to me, that is, those players, these are the heroes, you know. These are the reasons why we now have such good players, because they set the bar back then. The next players who came set the next bar because they learned of the players back then, and on and on and on. You know, I'm a streetballer since 1991, and I have here some things that it looks better. You see here, this is the Spalding NBA Ultimate Ball from 1996, what I got back then, that was unbelievable. Here we have a streetball game, because I'm a streetballer. I enjoyed this very, very much. The Charlotte Hornets ball, I think around 1995. With this ball I played over a decade. It still is there. Yeah, this was landing into the river, because my court was beside the river. It was amazing. And here, this I got back in the days, the Houston Rockets 1994 champion in VHS cassette, you know. And then you know how long I'm into it. But I made a video about this. But we go on with this court. You have to watch the video. The people entered on the buildings up there and watched to the court. That was full, you know. Unbelievable. Above Daddy had their team, Fat Joe, JC, and all that stuff, all was in there. And not, oh, with security and you cannot enter and this and that. Yeah, this is like a familiar atmosphere. How it's called, the smell there, you know. This is all legendary. When you know the legends of the game all played there, wanted to play there. This is our holy place as a streetballer, you know. This is the most important court from all what we have in the world. There comes nothing close because of the history, what happened there. The best streetball players were there, you know. So Rucker Park in New York, Harlem. Absolutely outstanding. There it all went on, you know, with tricks, with style, with the hip hop. I tell you, streetball is not a sport. Streetball is a lifestyle, you know. But to the streetball sport game, we will also come. This is also a part, and it's not that easy to say, oh, this is not streetball, yeah. Overall, you can say it, but it is not that easy. You will all find out in this video. But when you watch, please watch those videos. I link you to this because there are so many videos out there. To find that is really difficult today, because many people, you have to notice how YouTube works. Many people make videos about something, but they are not that interested in. They only want to generate money. How can I generate money? Oh, I make now this and that video. I talk about this. You know what I mean? But there are real good documentaries on film where you can see that, and this is important. There you will get it. And to Koby Bryant, that you have to watch when he entered in there. That was legendary. Yeah. People there, I cannot imagine how this was when you really were there. When they say, wow, Kobe is here. Come here now, Kobe is here. He's playing there. Unbelievable. And I have to say something about Koby Bryant. We go on to the next chapter now. Koby Bryant, because Koby Bryant was a lot into streetball. Many people will also not know this. You know, you have seen him play there, and I tell you some other thing. Many will know it, but for those who will not know it, he spoke Italian language. I will link you the video. He speaks really well Italian. Why? Because he was living in Italy, in Milano. And you know my city? I am next to the country of Italy, and Milano is my favorite city of them all. You know, Milano. And he was there, and in Milano, Koby Bryant is an absolutely legend hero also. And he was there, and I show you a video when he entered in a streetball court in Milano. You know, there is also a video, but this is more sad, when he passed away in the legendary San Siro football stadium. They made a whole thing for Koby Bryant to remember him as an hero, because in Milano he's a hero. And so many people don't know this about him. But watch him talking Italian language, and when he enters the streetball court, and how the people went crazy there, the streetballers, when he enters Milano in the streetball court. This you have to also to watch this. This is also unbelievable. Yeah. So we have the Rucker Park. It is unmatched, you know. Koby Bryant a little bit, and now we come to one of my favorite streetball videos. You know, there were original streetball videos, and this is again not the 3-3 tournaments, the streetball when it went up. And maybe my most favorite streetball video of all time is called the Notic 2. You know, maybe many will know it. The Notic 2, this is Canadian streetball. These were guys who are legends. In front of them, King Handel, Joey Haywood. One of the best streetball players we have ever had, you know. Unbelievable. And the Notic 2 was like the other part of the and one. And we also come to and one. And I tell you, for the older people, we know what and one is. But believe me, the young ones, they never heard the name of and one. Really, I have seen this. They never heard of this. And this is really sad. But where should they know it? They were not there at that time, and now we are filled up with information on all sites, on all videos. They cannot find this, you know. And so I want to create a video that you know the importance, the history, what was there as streetball, you know, because there is a reason why we are now with the 3-3 streetball tournaments, but what it was to go there, you know. And the Notic 2, watch this video, it is also on YouTube. The quality is not good, but it doesn't matter. But this video with all hip-hop music, and that it was back then, hip-hop and streetball was always together. You know, and you see that in the moves, how they are playing. You know, sadly, I have no talent for basketball or streetball. I never had talent. Maybe never for any sport, only for table tennis. You know, that I think was the only talent where I was really good and what is talent, I can show you. When you enter up with 10, 20 other kids, yeah, or teenagers, and you learn from a trainer something, and you try the moves, and you are the last, or one of the last ones, then you know you have no talent. I needed always 3-4 times longer to work out, to train, to get at the same level as other people, you know. But it is what it is. I try my best, I enjoy it. And so the Notic 2 is Canadian streetball. And they made a video with skills and things which is unbelievable. You know, I can watch this again. I told about this video one time. I don't think someone has searched it on YouTube, but the Notic 2. Watch this. Unbelievable. And there you see the real streetball as it was back in the days. On a real streetball court, where they played against each other with style, with tricks and with the music. That was streetball back in the days, you know. So we have the Notic 2 and Joey Haywood, King Handel, unbelievable guy. Yeah, these are our heroes as streetballers. These are the kings. You know, now they are a little bit older. They're still very, very good. But these are the heroes, you know. And before, at the Rucker Park, I told you, a BIG3 Kirkland, Earl the Goat Manigault, you know, and all the people who were there, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA players, you know, Dr. J. Julius Erving, unbelievable. And then there was also the and one, you know, now we come to the next chapter. And one. When this went up, that was crazy, really crazy. When you lived at that time, it was around the late 90s, early 2000s, what I remember. If you are young, and one were most known for their shoes. You know, this were a shoe brand who went up, I would say, almost to the most legendary shoes in the world. You know, there were Nike and other things, but and one entered up really on the same line almost. And one shoes were legendary. Every kid back then wanted to have an and one shoe. If you had such a shoe, this was really unbelievable, you know. I never had the and one shoe, but I can tell you another story. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I was into skateboarding because skateboarding was also a sport which was growing up so big. You know, 1999, Tony Hawk made the legendary 900. I have seen him live in this year skating the world. That was unbelievable. And skateboard shoes, there were the ES shoes, many call it E's, yeah, S, ES, call it whatever you want. There were the DC shoes, America and other brands. And the big panties, you know, you had your panty under your ass. That was the time. And a skateboarder, for example, also normal people wanted to have the skateboard shoes. There were Tony Hawk and then there was Chad Muska. These two names were known also besides skateboarding. For people who had nothing to do with skateboarding, they knew the name Tony Hawk. And also maybe Chad Muska, you know, with the ghetto blaster grinding the rail. That was absolutely unbelievable. But it was only one brand which were acceptable when you were not wearing skateboard shoes. What was the brand? It was and one. And one was at the same level because it was the coolest shit what you can get. You know, so that you have to know how. I can tell you my experience, the feeling what it was. You watched it in the papers, you know, you had magazines and one. That was the coolest shit of them all, beside the skateboarding, you know. And then there were players. They made mixtapes and one mixtapes. These are maybe the most legendary streetball mixtapes what we ever had, you know. There were players like the Professor. The Professor now many people will know because he's still on YouTube, you know. And he's still very popular. But there was also other names in there. They all had their nicknames. And there was maybe the best ball handling streetballer we ever had. It was Philippe Champion, I don't know how to call him in English, you know, my English is not the best, but Hot Sauce was his name. And Hot Sauce, that was unbelievable. Because they made skills, it was pressed on DVDs then, and when you enter a DVD, and when you have seen those clips, for the young ones, you have to understand, there was no YouTube, you know, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok. We had nothing of this, so you had no opportunity to see that stuff, only when you got a DVD. And so, when they brought out this DVD and you saw the clips, what they did with a ball, that the world has never seen before in this way. You know, there were the Harlem Globetrotters with their tricks and things, but what they brought there together, they really set the bar, because they had the perfect tool for the perfect time. You know, they were all perfect together. The hip-hop music, the hip-hoppers wanted to make the music for this. They had the style and the people loved it. I think at that time when &1 went up there with the shoes and with those legendary players, they had the best streetball players in the world. Beside the Notic 2 with the Canadian streetball. And they had moves you have never seen it. I can tell you from here, you thought, what are they doing? What? So camera went off again, I'm very, very sorry, but this was so exciting. You have never seen things before, you know, before you have watched this on DVD, what &1, what those guys did, you know, that was really, really unbelievable. Young people cannot imagine maybe this, because now you can watch all things on YouTube every day, on Instagram. You have seen all tricks already day by day. But back then there was no Instagram, there was no YouTube, there was no Facebook, there was no TikTok, nothing. You had only the DVDs. And when this was coming out, you have seen this for the first time in your life. That was unbelievable, you know. The Harlem Globetrotters, we have seen tricks, but this with the hip hop, they really had the perfect tool at the perfect time when this went up. And I would say streetball, call it now a sport or a lifestyle, but this thing called streetball went up there as the maybe most exciting sport lifestyle from all sports what we had. Yeah, that was a global sensation, streetball. The streetball courts were full. Everyone wanted to make those tricks. Really, you were sitting there and you played maybe basketball. You played a little bit, you shoot, you dribble a little bit, and then those guys from &1 came up, and you have seen this for the first time, and you thought, how can people play with a ball like this? That was, when you have seen this for the first time, you didn't know what is this guy doing, how are they doing this, the boomerang and all that stuff. Really, you have to watch this in the videos. I have all in the descriptions. Check this out. You don't know how big this was. They made then a tour, yeah, with a bus from city to city in the US, yeah, where they started. And the people there, you will see that on the video. The young people, the kids, they were running beside the bus. These were the heroes. They were recognized on the streets. Wow, the &1 guys. Wow, this, that. There was, the people went crazy in the buildings or in the outdoor courts when they played the games. Hip hop, the tricks. And that was the real streetball culture. This was a lifestyle. The people played back then everywhere. You didn't need a ring. Then you trained your tricks. You were playing, you were going home on the street, yeah, on the, how it's called, beside a street where cars are driving. When you walk, the walking way. There you dribbled your ball. You always had your ball by you. That was absolutely outstanding, you know. So &1 was really a sensation. I would say streetball was at this time at the peak. you know, from the global sensation. It never went up there, it went a little bit upwards. Now we have the FIBA 3-3 streetball tournaments, which are also grown up, and there are other things, but we will come to this. But that you have to watch when you are young. Watch this, how the people went crazy. The style, we had the XXL clothes. XXL was good, XXXXL, you know what I mean, was even more better. Larger was always better, you know, and that was unbelievable. You had your bands under your knees, and that was really a cool time, you know, with the hot sauce professor and all the guys who were in there. Really legendary. So we have now the and one also. We had the Rucker Park, we had Kobe Bryant, we had the Canadian Streetball, the Notic 2 video, we had and one. So we go on. So I would say now the FIBA 3-3 tournaments. We go now to the future, where we are now. You know, the future is now. 3-3 tournaments, FIBA. This is the thing what young people know as streetball. So, but I will tell you now first one thing. Maybe you will hate it now, maybe you will understand it now, and then we discuss it in a complete, open-minded, neutral way. So FIBA 3-3 tournaments. Now tell me what this has to do with real streetball. Yeah? What is real streetball? The 50s, the 60s, the 80s, the 90s, the and one thing. For example, we have a streetballer, Tony from Streetball Strategies from the YouTube channel. Support him. Yeah, give him a subscription. We all need that stuff. We are one family. That is important. At the end of the day, all basketball, streetball, all FIBA 3-3 tournaments, we are one thing. Yeah, we are all together, but we make some different things. So he doesn't like the and one guys. For example, yeah, he's a streetballer now. I can understand him. I love the and one guys, you know, but we can discuss this. So, but the FIBA 3-3 tournaments, tell me what this has to do with streetball. Because in a short way to say it, they build up a court somewhere in a city, a court which doesn't exist for the whole year. There is no court. They only build up their court for this only tournament. And after this tournament, this court doesn't exist. So they build up a court which has nothing to do with the city. They build a floor where they don't play on asphalt. They have their own ground service. And then they play with a size 6 ball. All basketball players as men since back then play with a size 7 ball. So we have a court which doesn't exist in the city. We have a service, a ground which has nothing to do with real streetball. We have a ball in the other size which has nothing to do with basketball since we know it. Basketball or streetball from back in the days has nothing to do with it. And then there are players in there. Now hate me now, but most of them train in a club, in an indoor hall, learn how to play basketball in a real way, and then they are showing up at that tournaments. So now tell me what this has to do with streetball. Most of them never play on a real streetball court. They train indoor, and then they went to those tournaments. They play with a ball, which has nothing to do over the decades from the size. And they play on a service which has nothing to do with a real streetball court. And they play on a court which doesn't exist in the city. Now, do you know now what I mean? What has this to do with streetball? And when you watch the videos now over the decades, streetball was with style. It was rough, it was tough, it was harder than the normal games. And with tricks, with style, with music, you know? And here we have the FIBA tournaments, which is the rule 12 seconds, I think. 12 seconds, it is only fast. Bam, 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 run, shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot. Shoot, quick. This is a complete other thing. They call it streetball. So this is very negative said maybe for many, because I know nowadays The people love it, and it is a good part. But now we discuss it in a neutral, open-minded way. How it went there, because we have to watch back early in the 90s, you know. There we start now, because in the early 90s there also existed the 3-3 tournaments. When people now say like mine, FIBA 3-3, forget it, has nothing to do. I am an open-minded guy and I have watched it, you know. But this is not the streetball what I like, but that has nothing to say if it is good or not. It is our own part in our basketball bubble. But it is not the streetball as it was for decades, how it was growing up in Harlem, New York. Yeah, it is a complete other thing. It's called the streetball tournaments. But I know it has a lot of potential and a lot of people love this game. I can also understand why. It is quick, it is something new. Young people also need new stuff. We had our end. One thing was the coolest shit, and for the young people now the coolest shit are those FIBA 3-3 tournaments. And so this is complete, how it's called, legime, you know what I mean? This is complete correct that they have it now, you know. Only the word streetball is not the best way to promote it. But now we go back to the early 90s, because there it started with the streetball tournaments, 3-3 streetball tournaments. And a big sponsor of that was Adidas. You will find it in the description. There were advertisements around 1994, around this time, Adidas streetball. They promoted it, they have seen a potential to make money out of it. We are calling it streetball. And also back then, this is nothing new. The FIBA 3-3 is around 2007, I think, when they built this up. And then they started the tournament, so it is a very fresh system. But also in the early 90s, Adidas made the same. They built up courts in a city which has nothing to do with streetball, but they build it up on an asphalt, really bad boards, you know, bad rings, bad boards, really cheap, I would say. And there they played the thing. But this was the idea, wow, we have the streetball like in America, in New York, and this, we can also play streetball. Back then that was completely fresh and new. In which city in the 80s you didn't have this? There's a city built up basketball courts in the middle of an asphalt in the city, and that was a cool thing, you know. And there it started up. Reebok was also a big thing in the game back then. In streetball I cannot remember exactly, but Adidas had a lot of advertisement for only streetball. They pushed this up, you know, and there it started. And that also people played streetball, especially in Germany. There were a lot of tournaments, you know. And so here we are now. But so camera overheated again, sorry. So now you see the streetball FIBA that was growing up over decades until the FIBA made this stuff, and now people like it, love it. There are so many players, women, girls, boys, men who play this, and so many people who like to watch this, you know, and that is good. But it is a complete different thing, you know. Because you never have to forget they earn money with it, you know. All those organizations want to earn money, of course. And to make the ball smaller as a size 6 ball, you know, we have played the FIBA 3-3 official game ball, very nice ball, to make the game quicker, you know. Because they have to stand out beside the NBA, beside other things, to get excitement, you know. And this works now. We don't know if this works in 10 years, but it is good when people love this. But it is our own part in the basketball bubble. But you cannot say this is the original streetball. No, it's not. You know what I mean now. But the young people don't know this. Where should they know it when no one tells them? You know, this has nothing to say, oh, this is not good now. No, it is good. But it is not the real streetball as it was growing up. It is a own sport which is very nice and which will grow up much more, you know, and which you can love, because we have now a complete other game beside the normal basketball with the streetball. and people can decide, oh, I go with normal basketball, no, I go with the streetball as it was over decades, or I go with the FIBA 3-3 tournaments. So everyone is a little bit other, and they have tools to grow, to go up there, to have a world champion, to be famous, to watch the games, and that is good. You know that we have all those stuff, so you will understand me now. But I would say here in Europe, some people will not know this, but there exists another 3-3 game beside the FIBA, and I personally like this much more, and it is called the BIG3. Maybe you know it, but for those who don't know this league, you know, FIBA 3-3 we have now. Now we come to the BIG3 tournaments. And what is the BIG3? It is a little bit similar to the FIBA 3-3. There also are people playing 3x3, and the rules are a little bit other, but the main difference is this is in America, and it is really an opponent against the NBA, because they have a lot of attention now, you know, and it is made from Ice Cube. Ice Cube generated this. Ice Cube is the famous rapper, if you are not into rapping hip hop, and he made the BIG3 for the love of the game, and they are playing on a hardwood court in a indoor hall like a basketball field, you know. It's only the half of a basketball field, and they are playing there. The rules are other, and I can tell you they have a lot of people sitting in there, yeah, really like in an NBA game. And they are playing the old NBA guys, you know, the old NBA guys who don't play in the NBA anymore are playing there. So really high professional basketball what you get there, with music, hip hop and those stuff, and they make this really, really good. This is more the American style of the thing, like the FIBA, yeah. So we have both things now, which is also better when we have two tools. You can decide, oh, I go more to this, or I go more to this. And they have 14 seconds time. You know, I think it was opened up in 2017. I will link videos where you see this, yeah. Maybe you like it. The BIG3, Allen Iverson was also playing there. And they have a lot of coaches, also female coaches, legendary female coaches. Gary Payton was there, and on and on and on. And so this, I think, is a really good tool. When people like it, why not? But I know they have a lot of problems with the NBA, because the NBA maybe loses subscribers. You know what I mean? When people like the new stuff, because this is now the cool thing, the cool shit. And they have a 4-point system. You can, when you have the 3-point line, a little bit back, when you go a little bit back there, they have a circle in there with a 4-point. You know, the 4 is standing in there, and when you are with 1 foot in there and you throw and you get it, you get 4 points. That is also a cool thing, because they are a little bit different to the FIBA thing. So you can decide for yourself what you like, but I think a lot of people here don't know the BIG3 tournaments from Ice Cube. Really a cool thing, but different to the FIBA 3-3. Yeah, I also know the FIBA 3-3 tournaments. They are very popular here in Europe, yeah. But it's great, now we have many tools in our bubble, yeah. And you decide where you want to go, and you can grow up there, because such organizations have a name now. There you can earn money and things and get recognition, you know, they are on social media and on and on and on. So this is very, very good. And so we go on now to Germany, streetball. Because there, I told you, the Adidas streetball tournaments, who were also there in the early 90s. And there is a good documentary. It's, I don't know the original name, but there are the Rim Breakers. Maybe they will see it now. The Rim Breakers in 1994. You see in Berlin how streetball was back then. And you will also see there, it is in German, there are a playlist, you know, a playlist where a little part, you can watch them. And those guys were called the rim breakers. And you will see it is a little bit similar to the streetball what we had in America. Yeah, those guys wanted to be like the American guys. Like in Harlem, like in New York, with hip-hop, with the style. And it was a lifestyle. These were people who enjoyed basketball on the streets. They never wanted to have a trainer where they have to do this, that, only focused, you have to play this, you only have to shoot this, you have to do that on the court. No, they wanted to play for them own, to have their fun, to express, how it's called, I don't know how it's called, but to make with their body what they want, you know, to make cool tricks and this, or only to sit there. Many have drunk, many have smoked back then, you know. But streetball was a part of them. After they worked, they went to a streetball court. And you will see in Berlin a lot of streetball culture back then. You also have to watch this, you know. So I will link all in the descriptions. You can watch every video. Take your time, but then you know really a lot about streetball. Of course, it is not the entire world, but this is an important part of the streetball thing what we had now comprised in one video, you know. And this is really, really nice. And I enjoy it still. I will go tomorrow, but not to the airport court like in the background. Tomorrow I will make my first video for a subscriber. He wished a video, versus video, ball versus ball. And I have to go up. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock at night and I have to go up very, very early tomorrow. Because later on I have work, even if it's Sunday. But I will do this for you out there. And then we will see which ball will win. So I hope you enjoyed it. Watch all the videos. And there we have really great streetball. So thank you very much. We will see us as always. Bye and ciao.